I'm John Riley here in Helena. The state of Montana and the federal government have announced a significant expansion for their shared stewardship of Montana forests.
I'm Jonathan Ambarian in Helena. After a contentious primary season, 8 Republican lawmakers have lost their party's nomination. I'll have a closer look at how the results of the legislative primaries played out.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on Daybreak and for starting your day with us. I'm Madeline Heath. The state of Montana and the U.S. Forest Service are significantly increasing the acres under their shared stewardship landscape agreement. MTN's John Riley met with state and federal leaders about the expansion.
Montana is expanding its partnership with the federal government for forest management. It's part of their joint commitment to shared stewardship. On Thursday, the U.S. Forest Service and the Gene Forte administration announced a third shared stewardship, this time in the Lolo National Forest.
Another 345,000 acres where the Forest Service will delegate forest management responsibility to the state of Montana on the Lolo National Forest. This means we'll have healthier forests, we'll reduce fuel loads, we'll have more wildfire resiliency. It's a win for all of Montana.
A year ago, the state and the Forest Service formalized a shared stewardship agreement with the goal to improve forest health and restoration, increase timber production, and reduce wildfire risk. In May, they announced 2 priority landscapes covering 400,000 acres across the Flathead, Kootenai, and the Bitterroot National Forests. With the latest addition, they're now jointly managing over 745,000 acres.
I'm really proud that Montana is leading the nation in this landscape scale work. The reality is, if we're really going to get at our forest health crisis, we have to be doing work on that landscape level. And this partnership with the Lolo National Forest has been one that's been really meaningful.
The state of Montana and the federal government have long partnered on forest management and wildfire risk projects. Leaders say using tools like the Good Neighbor Authority helps accelerate those projects.
The partnership with the state of Montana under our Good Neighbor Agreement is probably the best it's ever been in that we have so much work happening on the ground, really close partnerships that exist from the governor in his support for our programs all the way to our employees on the ground that are working closely together to deliver on our missions.
The first official shared stewardship project is slated to begin this year, and it's on Blacktail Mountain in the Flathead National Forest. It aims to do some forest mitigation around a power line corridor to protect that infrastructure and reduce wildfire risks. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Now we turn to weather with meteorologist Joey Biancone, and it is a beautiful day out there already. What are we looking at for the rest of the day and going into the weekend?
Thank you very much, Madeline. It is a beautiful day across the state today. We're starting off with a look at Monarch. Look at how green everything is after our recent rain. It's going to be a great day to get outside. Nothing to talk about on the radar here. This weekend, though, is where things change up just a bit. We will have some isolated thunderstorms around Saturday afternoon, a high of about 75 degrees, so a little bit cooler than what we'll have today. Windy conditions and some scattered rain showers this weekend with even some mountain snow possible. So Sunday, probably not going to be a great day to be in the great outdoors. But even into next week, we stay in our active and cooler pattern here. Pretty good chance to see below average temperatures for much of the state heading into the middle and end of next week. The rest of the country, however, looking quite warm. So here's a look at Great Falls. Beautiful sunrise out there across the state today. We start the day off in the 40s. We'll be in the upper 70s to low 80s. Check out Helena. Nice color over the Big Belt Mountains. We didn't see the northern lights last night, but if you look to the north right now, you're going to see some pretty good color out there. Again, we'll warm up into the low 80s here in the capital city under mostly sunny skies.
Tuesday's primary election marked the end of a bitter battle between factions of the Republican Party in the Montana legislature. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian shows us the results and what they could mean for next year's legislative session.
This year's Republican legislative primary saw millions of dollars in spending starting months ago. After the dust settled, the more moderate and more conservative factions could each claim some wins. 8 lawmakers, all Republicans, lost their primary races. 6 were aligned with the more centrist faction, while 2 were part of the staunchly conservative Freedom Caucus. But in perhaps the most closely watched race, Representative Lou Jones of Conrad won a primary for Senate over Representative Zach Worth of Wolf Creek.
I have to admit, it's good to have it in the rear view mirror. It was long, very ugly.
Jones was a major target of conservative groups this year. He says his campaign was focused on putting constituents' interests above party.
Wherever the turnout was quite high, the middle spoke up loudly and said, we don't buy outside interests dictating who we should elect.
The Freedom Caucus chair is Representative Jerry Schillinger of Circle. He won his primary race against Senator Jason Ellsworth and says he's pleased with how the conservative wing of the party performed.
We're pretty excited, actually, about the total numbers.
Schillinger believes the defeats of more moderate incumbents shows they weren't staying close enough to the party's platform.
One of the most common things I heard is a real frustration that we think we send a conservative to Helena, and when they get there, they vote like a Democrat.
Divisions in the Republican caucus were a major theme of the last legislative session. I asked if the heated battles in this primary season will linger into the 2027 session.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we all just have a responsibility now to go forward and represent our constituents and do the best we can.
It's going to take some time for the heartburn to settle down. But truthfully, usually there's a way where you can begin to, you're there to prioritize the needs of Montana.
Democrats only had 17 contested legislative primaries compared to Republicans' 43. In the most notable, Kelly Cordum narrowly defeated Becky Edwards in a Bozeman Senate race between two current House members. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Some important water projects in northeast Montana are getting more time to be completed. The Fort Peck Reservation Rural Water System Act of 2000 passed the House this week, extending a $500 million allocation through 2028. The legislation, sponsored by Montana Republican Troy Downing, extends the Bureau of Reclamation's authority to support construction on essential water infrastructure projects serving the Fort Peck Reservation and communities in Roosevelt, Sheridan, Valley, and Daniels counties. Downing said deferred maintenance issues like those that occurred in the Milk River watershed and St. Mary's Siphon highlight the importance of this type of legislation, not just for farmers, but those who depend on the Fort Peck system for drinking water.
I've had folks, come into my office with mason jars full of gray, brown, or, worse water coming out of their tap. And I'm going, how do you survive? I mean, water is so vital to the survival of these communities. And the least thing you can expect is to have clean, drinkable water.
Downing says the program has already built 3,000 miles of pipeline and put in pumping stations. And he said he's confident the bill will pass the Senate and expects it to be signed by the president sometime this summer.
Well, finally, after days of cooler weather, we have a warm one in store for the whole state, 70s and 80s, but the colder weather is right around the corner yet again. I'll have the details coming up with the full weather forecast.
This is absolutely powerful.
We are all human. We have different backgrounds.
It means the most to somebody that you don't even know.
Out of the kindness of their hearts, learning new things, conquering the obstacles.
They will really be the future.
These are memories that will last a lifetime.
I would scream as loud as I could, "Thank you so much."
You're watching KTVH, part of the Scripps News Group. StormTracker weather starts now with meteorologist Joey Biancone.
Welcome back, everybody. Upper 40s across our area here for the temperatures this morning. Overall, pretty comfortable out there. Nothing to really show you on the radar. We are going to have dry conditions, mostly sunny skies. It's going to be a beautiful day with highs warming up into the upper 70s to low 80s for basically everybody. We'll have cloud cover building overnight, partly to mostly cloudy skies tomorrow as a cold front will start to make its way through the state. Could see some sprinkles as early as about 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, but some showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms developing across southwest and central Montana, Helena, Great Falls, up towards Havre, that line right along the cold front here. Those storms will push out east throughout the afternoon and evening. A few stronger storms possible in northeast Montana, where we do have a slight risk of severe weather. Glasgow and most of the northeastern corner of the state. Gusty winds, large hail, the main threats with those thunderstorms as they make their way through. But heading on into Sunday, a little bit more widespread precipitation develops back behind the cold front. We'll have some pretty cold air coming in behind as well, and we could even be looking at some snow dropping to about 6,000 to 7,000 feet by Sunday morning. morning, lasting through Sunday afternoon. Not a whole lot of accumulation is expected, but still some mountain snow in June here. We have light winds across the state. We will have wind picking up yet again. We had a breezy afternoon in Helena yesterday. We're going to have another breezy afternoon. Gusts approaching 30 to 40 miles an hour in some parts of north central Montana, mainly near the Rocky Mountain front. Helena will gust between 10 and 20 miles an hour through most of the afternoon before that wind does die down. Another breezy evening tomorrow as well. This is around 8 o'clock. The Rocky Mountain front still gusting to about 20 to 30, but most of north central Montana going to have a little bit lighter winds tomorrow. So temperatures warming up into the 70s and 80s for everybody today. Going to be gorgeous. Get outside, enjoy it. This weekend, not going to be bad. It's not going to be as much of a washout as last weekend was. We will have breaks in the precipitation at times, but still not a perfect weekend, especially those temperatures on Sunday as we are cooling off into the 50s and 60s across the state. We will warm into the low 70s by Monday. Another dry, short period between some storm systems here, and we will have temperatures cooling off yet again, back down into the 60s, possibly even the 50s, with multiple days of precipitation expected. Some thunderstorms coming in on Tuesday. A few of those could be on the stronger side depending on the timing of that front when it does come through, but widespread rain for especially eastern Montana Wednesday and Thursday, going to do wonders for the drought conditions out there.
A major educational investment in the Great Falls area, Touro University recently announced plans to establish a law school and a nursing program in the Electric City. It's part of a broader push to tackle staffing shortages across the state, especially in high-demand fields. MTN's Justin Robichaux shows us how the move could shape the future of communities in Montana.
There are some new things on the horizon for Touro University, Montana, as a law school is coming and a nursing program.
We've had such a wonderful, warm welcome from the Great Falls community, and we are anxious to expand further and really bring what we consider to be a very innovative and exciting program to Great Falls and really to central and eastern Montana, and start educating a bunch of new lawyers.
University officials say access to legal services remains a challenge across much of the state, particularly in rural areas where some communities are located hours from the nearest attorney.
What we heard over and over again was that there are individuals who need lawyers and just can't hire one because the lawyers are overworked. They can't hire additional new lawyers to join their firms. And there are some areas that simply have no lawyer for hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Touro Law Center is offering a 4-year part-time JD program where students will receive a Juris Doctor degree and at the same time providing a flexible schedule.
We're able to structure the program just by having that 1 day of in-person attendance and then the additional work being done on your own time. So it's a very flexible program, which is why we call it Flex Time JD, so that you're able to really set your schedule.
The university also announced plans to launch a Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, another effort aimed at filling workforce gaps across Montana's healthcare system.
I've been in higher education and nursing education for a little over a decade here in Montana now, and so getting to see a new initiative coming that's kind of coming forward with a bold new model, really working to meet our workforce needs in the state, it's exciting.
The nursing program will use a hybrid model, allowing students to complete coursework online while attending hands-on labs and clinical experiences in person.
It's a hybrid model, so it's actually going to have online for all of the lecture in an asynchronous capacity, so students can kind of log in, get the work done around the schedule that works for them, and then we'll have immersive experiences where they'll come to campus to coordinate and take care of things like labs and clinicals.
Program leaders say Montana's nursing workforce remains stretched thin, making it important to create additional training opportunities close to home.
Nursing in Montana has a pretty tight workforce. There's really only like a 1 or 2% unemployment rate, which means if you're a nurse, there's a job for you if you want it, but it also means that there's a shortage that's kind of ongoing. And so that the hope really is that this helps locally in Great Falls.
Touro University says law school classes will begin in August of 2027. There are plans in the works to house the law school in a new facility, and the nursing program will start sometime in 2027. In Great Falls, Justin Robichaux, MTN News.
Evan Charney and Helena, where the city is working to improve accessibility for its pedestrians. I'll have the story coming up.
Get up-to-the-minute local news, weather, and sports when you want it. Download the KTVH News app in the Apple or Android store now. Sponsored by Rucker's Furniture, fulfilling Helena's furniture needs for over 60 years. From MTN News, you're watching Daybreak.
Over the last few years, the city of Helena has worked to make pedestrian walkways more accessible. MTN's Evan Charney shows us one of the most recent projects meant to expand accessibility.
Accessibility shouldn't be just a convenience, but a standard. And the city of Helena is taking that into account with one of their latest improvement projects.
We don't necessarily think very much about stepping off a curb to cross the street. But imagine being in a wheelchair or with a walker or cane, getting to the corner.
The city is working to add and repair over 50 ADA accessible ramps in the 6th Ward neighborhood. Contracted through Homestead Handy LLC, construction started in late May and will continue through the end of August. Helena currently has 3,300 ramps installed and has seen the need in the area in recent years, working to keep infrastructure compliant.
Accessibility to us is important, and that's why we're moving through systematically removing those barriers and trying to upgrade as much as we can.
Majority of funding will come from a grant, with the city providing a 13.42% match, totaling out to just under $650,000. Construction will be done in phases, focusing on certain blocks or streets at a time. Ability Montana is a center supporting people with disabilities striving for independence. I spoke with members on their struggles getting around.
There's areas in Helena here that I cannot go because I don't have a curb cut, or I'll be driving somewhere and then I'll have to turn around because there's no curb cut or way for me to get off.
After hearing about the plans, they're looking forward to the improvements.
It makes me feel very good inside and very happy that they're at least trying to make a difference in the community of Helena.
The city plans to continue momentum and add ramps as needed, focusing on areas around schools in the near future. Officials expect no major impact to traffic, but pedestrians may see some sidewalks and other pathways blocked for the time being. In Helena, Evan Charney, MTN News.
Now we turn to weather with meteorologist Joey Biancone, and with record rainfall across the state, I'm sure some people are glad to have all that moisture but still have drought on their minds. What is the drought forecast looking like?
Yeah, thanks, Madeline. Some parts of the state have been dealing with extreme drought over the last couple of months, specifically north central Montana. This is the look at the drought monitor from last week before our significant rain event. I showed this yesterday, but I now want to compare it to the one that we had come out yesterday. Notice a lot of the country still in some pretty significant drought, but very significant improvement into parts of north central Montana. We had about a 3% reduction in extreme drought across the state. However, most areas in south central and eastern Montana stayed the same or increased a little bit. Specifically northeast Montana there gained a little bit of extreme droughts, but very positive improvements here across our area. Still a lot to go though. We will be looking at another couple of storms coming through, which will help with drought conditions. That starts this weekend as a cold front moves through the area. Isolated to scattered showers Saturday and Sunday, even a little bit of mountain snow through southwest Montana Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon. A dry period on Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, some wet weather will return as a center of low pressure comes through the state. So Great Falls this morning, we are in the 40s and 50s across the area. Will be mostly sunny through the day with a high of 79 degrees, a bit breezy out there, wind to 10 to 20 miles an hour. Helena will be a bit warmer at about 82.
And coming up in sports, we'll catch up with the track and field state champion from Capitol High School. Stay right here.
KTVH and Rucker's Furniture are proud to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. Real courage is found all around us in the people who show up for one another. It's in the teachers guiding our future, the firefighters protecting our homes, and the nurses offering healing hands. These quiet acts of bravery remind us the best of America has always been each other. This America 250 moment on KTVH is sponsored by Rucker's Furniture.
From MTN News, you're watching Daybreak.
3 Capitol High Bruins took home individual state titles from the Class AA state track and field meet in Missoula over the weekend. And no girl at MCPS Stadium threw a javelin farther than this. 129 feet 6 inches is the mark that won Capitol senior Kaylin Sari her Class AA javelin title.
All the girls and every coach has instilled a lot of confidence in me and are always cheering me on at every competition, and it's definitely helped a lot with just going out there and being able to compete and be a part of Capitol High Bruin track.
And speaking of the people who helped Kaylin to the top of the podium, that's Capitol javelin coach Lexi Rigg, who used to own Capitol school record javelin throw until Kaylin came along and set the new mark.
I think she's made a huge impact. I've heard younger kids that don't even do track, look up to her and just compliment how hard she works and how great of a competitor she is and her success. So I think you can't even put into words exactly the mark she's left.
But beyond Kaylin's state title and school record, the senior said she hopes it's her work ethic that leaves a lasting mark on the Bruin program.
I hope girls are able to see how hard I've worked throughout the years and put all the time in the off season, and that they're willing to work that hard, and one day that they'll be able to be even just place at state or divisionals and just make it feel like such a huge accomplishment for them.
And make sure you're keeping up with us over at montanasports.com throughout this week as we continue following up with our local track and field state champs. Reporting in Helena, Johnny Walker, MTN Sports.
Hey everyone, Luke Shelton here in Butte at Montana Tech's Bob Green Field, where it's starting to feel like summer. And on Saturday, for the 42nd time, the Bob Cleverly 8-man All-Star Game is set to be played.
Cleverly started in Ennis, really. I mean, Bob Cleverly was from Ennis, and so it's something that's bigger than me and something that I honor. And the timing of the year, like you said, is pretty awesome.
Once you're a part of it, I mean, you don't not want to be a part of it. So definitely had it marked on the calendar all season long, and kind of that official start of, football coming back. So we're juiced to be here.
For years, I've considered the Clev to be the unofficial start of summer in the mining city. And for over 4 decades in Butte, this game has served the purpose of putting a spotlight on some of the top graduating small-town Montana football players.
It's great to meet everyone. I haven't met a lot of these guys before, all from Belt, Chinook, everywhere. So it's awesome to really get a chance to know everybody.
Really excited. We had 6 months off of football, so it's fun. It's fun to get back into it and, get moving again and get ready for the fall.
It's Team Red, which comprises the Northern and Southern C divisions, versus Team Blue, made up of the Eastern and Western C. And leading Team Red is current Ennis head coach Mike Speck, who's carrying on a tradition that his predecessor began way back in the 1980s.
Cleverly had quite the legacy. I don't know if those are big shoes to fill, but it feels pretty good. The tradition in Ennis is awesome.
Team Blue has won this contest 3 straight times, and so Team Red won't need to look far for a reason to leave it all on the field this weekend.
Reds lost 3 years in a row. Blues three-peated, and so that was my first year I started the losing streak. So I plan to end it, but that's a big motivation factor.
And the 8-man All-Star Game is set to kick off on Saturday at 7 p.m. In Butte, Luke Shelton, MTN Sports.
Because there's always something to do in Helena. It's time for your Out and About calendar on KTVH. If you'd like to get your event added to the calendar, please scan the QR code or visit the Out and About page on KTVH.com.
Quentin Shores here in Augusta, and coming up, we'll be discussing the closing of Highway 21, updates, and how it's impacted some of the local businesses.
Racism is real, and it's still here.
I'm Cassidy Powers, and coming up, I'm going to tell you about the online controversy between a Bozeman realtor reposting a video directly targeting Native Americans.
Welcome back, and for those of you just joining us, good morning and thanks for tuning in. I'm Madeline Heath. A major construction project west of Great Falls is changing some drivers' commute, but small business owners say the impacts haven't been what they expected. MTN's Quentin Shores takes a closer look at how they're adapting as the project continues.
I'm off the road on US 287, just one of the many alternative routes that people have to take to get to Augusta ever since the closure of Montana Highway 21.
So I think as overall, especially small town, people don't like change, right? Change is hard. So, but I think we've overcome it.
Keisha Allen, co-owner of the Lightning Bug Coffee and Boutique, has watched the community adapt after MDT closed mile markers 0 to 1 on Highway 21 from March 2nd through June 25th. The closure sparked concerns, especially for those who relied on the road for daily commutes.
It's definitely an impact. Our kids go to school there, so of course it was an impact for school buses and transportation for people then. And of course my parents live on that road too, so they've been impacted by it. So it's an annoyance, but a necessary evil.
Highway 21 was shut down for repairs at Elk Creek and Hogansloft. We reached out to the Montana Department of Transportation and Augusta Chamber of Commerce, and although they have not provided an update, residents report that construction is on track.
As far as I know, they have told us that they're on time or going to be done a little early, hopefully.
In the meantime, locals are making the best of the situation, commuting through Fairfield and Bowman's Corner, and some businesses are finding a silver lining. Flat Creek Mercantile celebrated its grand opening, and the highway closure increased visibility for the shop.
We really just want to be a haven for people who have been on the road for a while or are nervous if they're going to make the next gas station or not, so they can swing in, rest, get a bite, use the bathroom, and be ready to go the rest of the way for their trip.
As construction wraps up its final weeks, residents are looking forward to the road that serves Augusta and its surrounding regions. In Augusta, Quentin Shores, MTN News.
Now let's check in on weather with meteorologist Joey Biancone. And what a beautiful day it is out there. What are we looking at for the rest of the day and going into the weekend?
Yeah, thank you, Madeline. It's going to be a beautiful day across Big Sky Country. And we start our morning off looking at Monarch. Look at how green everything is after our recent rains through the area. Most of the state looks like that right now, which is probably my most favorite scenery across the state is the springtime bloom of everything here. And nothing to really show you on the radar. But this weekend, well, enjoy today while you can, because we will have a couple of showers and thunderstorms coming through Saturday afternoon. Overall, not a bad Saturday. 75 for the high, but Sunday we'll have a little bit more activity in terms of rain in the lower elevations and even some mountain snow. High of only 61 on Sunday. And the colder and wetter weather is expected to continue into next week, as we will have another pretty major storm system coming through the area that could bring some widespread accumulating precipitation to a lot of the area. Beautiful sunrise in Great Falls right now. We expect mostly sunny skies with a high of about 79 degrees. Awesome color in Helena right now. The northern lights did not come out last night, but if you look off to the north, you're going to see some pretty yellows and reds as the sun does come up. We'll reach the low 80s for our high today, and I'll have more coming up in the full weather forecast.
A teenage cadet at the Montana Youth Challenge Academy was found dead Tuesday. MTN's John Amy was in Dillon to learn more about this tragedy.
The investigation continues into the tragic death of a cadet at the Montana Youth Challenge Academy, located here on the campus of Montana Western in Dillon.
It's pretty stressful on everybody. The crew at Youth Challenge, really stressful on them. It's the first time in 26 years since that program started that they've ever had anything like that.
The sheriff told MTN News a 17-year-old male cadet from Missoula was found dead at the Academy's facility. Wendt added that the death is not considered criminal, but would not elaborate on the cause. Many people in the Dillon community are heartbroken by the incident.
The Academy, it's an amazing program. It was a shock to have something like this happen, but unfortunately it did. And I know they've got great support, great staff, and I'm sure they'll handle this the best possible way it can be handled.
The Academy is designed for 16 to 18-year-olds who are at risk of dropping out of school or have already dropped out. It uses military-style structure and discipline. Many people have praised the school in recent online comments. However, one mother whose daughter attended the Academy in 2023 was more critical of the school after hearing the news.
I was very sad and heartbroken, but I was not surprised. They're very short-handed, unfortunately, and so a lot of things slip through the cracks.
The Academy says it has more than 50 staff members watching over the 106 cadets, and the facility is monitored with many security cameras. Montana Western says it has a great relationship with the Academy and its cadets.
They do a lot of volunteer service for the community. They help with large events here on campus, like our commencement ceremonies, and just seeing the transformation in the lives of the cadets, you know, when they start out and when they graduate. It's just really been inspiring.
In Dillon, John Amy, MTN News.
As many people know, social media is a place where hateful comments are shared daily. And as MTN's Cassie Powers reports, a Montana realtor's post is making its rounds and stirring up controversy after targeting Native Americans.
Here in Bozeman, a recent social media post that some are calling offensive is outraging people online and raising the question of racism here in Montana.
Racism is real, and it's still here.
Those are the thoughts of JC Pretty Paint after seeing this social media post making its rounds online.
As long as you're that color and you look a certain way, you get that vibe that's just different. You know, it's uncalled for.
JC is from the Crow Agency. He's currently in Bozeman for a job in construction, but this isn't his first time in town.
I actually went to school here in the past, and I just love being here. You know, I miss the town. It's really great here.
But when I showed JC this online video shared by a Bozeman woman,
it was just a video like this, someone riding horseback, and it says, "Finally, a scenic spot that isn't filled with Indians. Some guy in 1821, and also me in 2026.
We like to be called Native Americans, and one thing, you know, I don't see why natives had to be put in the perspective that we are when we're just people. Just like anybody else.
I explained to JC that this video was shared to the popular social media account of Amanda Caldwell, a Bozeman realtor posting about scenic Montana land.
Her land is the thing, you know? What is she getting at? Or, you know, who does she think she is?
I reached out to Amanda Caldwell, who has since removed the post. She sent me this statement. "I want to take this opportunity to say I am sorry. I made a mistake." Amanda explained, "Recently, I was creating Montana landscape and outdoor-themed reels using texts that were circulating online. The words included in the post in question were not written by me and originated elsewhere online. There was no ill intent behind it toward anyone, but intent does not undo the impact. That was careless, irresponsible, and wrong, and I take full responsibility." For JC, he says regardless of intent, this isn't the first time he's heard comments like this.
Growing up and being a part of it, you know, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still in the community no matter what, no matter where we go, you know.
JC tells me he just hopes the hate can end.
We're unique people, and we're honestly pretty friendly. I don't get why there's such a discrepancy about everything.
In Bozeman, Cassidy Powers, MTN News.
Well, finally, after days of cooler weather, we have a warm one in store for the whole state, 70s and 80s, but the colder weather is right around the corner yet again. I'll have the details coming up with the full weather forecast.
Get up-to-the-minute local news, weather, and sports when you want it. Download the KTVH News app in the Apple or Android store now. Sponsored by Big Sky Plumbing and Heating, supplying highest quality plumbing and HVAC solutions for more than 35 years.
Keep your home team safe and remove the risk. Go to fda.gov/health playbook.
In Montana, the people live and breathe local sports. The rivalries, the passion.
passion, the pride. From frost-covered fields to packed gym bleachers, every game tells a story and every town has its hero. MontanaSports.com is where those stories live. Your teams, your highlights, your communities, all in one place. Available anytime on the web or on the app. MontanaSports.com.
Sponsored by Benefis Health System.
StormTracker weather starts now with meteorologist Joey Biancone.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday. We're starting the day off in the 40s for most areas, below freezing down there in Yellowstone. Nothing to really show you on the radar. Nothing will impact us today as we expect mostly sunny skies with high temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. Beautiful day to get outside and enjoy the great outdoors, because tomorrow and Sunday, a little inclement weather around. We'll have some showers isolated in the morning as a cold front will start to make its way through the area. We'll reach highs into the 70s across Helena and Great Falls before that cold front comes through, and then we'll have scattered showers forming along that front into the afternoon, maybe even a few thunderstorms as well. But it's looking like the stronger thunderstorms will be out east tomorrow afternoon and evening, where we will have a severe weather threat of a slight risk, level 2 out of 5 for northeast Montana. That does include areas like Glasgow and Glendive, where we could see some larger hail and gusty winds, maybe some hail in excess of an inch in diameter. So that cold front continues to push towards the south and east through Sunday. Much colder air back behind here, especially in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that could bring some mountain snow back to southwestern Montana, even around the Helena area, the Continental Divide, the Boulders, the Elkhorns, down towards Butte, America. Could even be looking at some snowflakes as we head into Sunday morning and early afternoon. Some rain for everybody else, and then that system will move out by Monday. So the wind, not really too bad right now across the states. Mostly less than 5 miles an hour here, but it will be picking up yet again. It was breezy yesterday for most areas, but the Rocky Mountain front could gust between 30 and 40 miles an hour at times this afternoon. Most everybody else between 10 and 20 with some isolated 30-mile-an-hour gusts. Helena Valley will be a little windy as well. West wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour today. Tomorrow, more or less the same story. Some wind developing off the Rocky Mountain front. A little bit of wind through north central Montana, but overall not too bad. We will have stronger winds coming in on Sunday. So high temperatures today, 70s and 80s. A beautiful Montana spring day here across the state. It is very green outside with all the rain we have recently, so a gorgeous day to get outside, maybe go look at some wildflowers on a hike or bike or whatever you want to do. This weekend, not terrible. It's not going to be as wet as last weekend, but we will have some periods of rain coming through with cooler temperatures, and we will have more widespread precipitation returning towards the middle and end of next week.
The Great Falls Farmers Market returns this weekend, but local growers have already been preparing for the season for months. MTN's Madison Collier visited one Great Falls farm stand getting ready for its second year, where flowers, eggs, and local products are helping bring the neighborhood together.
Before flowers make it into a bouquet and before local products show up at farmers markets and farm stands across the state, there is a lot of work happening behind the scenes.
We start all of our plants from seed, so we love them from the moment they come out of a packet into the soil that we build.
This year, Franklin Farms is heading into its second season. A small farm stand on Franklin Avenue offering cut flowers, eggs, honey, and other locally sourced products.
I was just telling her, I'm like, we have this space. I think it'd be great for flowers.
The idea started with open space, a friend with gardening knowledge, and a hope to bring something beautiful to their community.
We're so excited to start the adventure together in season 2.
The first season came with lessons, from weeds to weather to learning what customers were looking for.
Just being able to open up this service to the community and seeing people come by and like bring their kids to pick out flowers. And we did a U-Pick event at the end of the season last year.
But the community response made the work worth it.
It wasn't just our love. The community love for the flowers goes a long way.
Now, as the Great Falls Farmers Market opens for the summer, Franklin Farms is also looking to reach more people through the market, pop-ups, and its own neighborhood stand.
Partnered with a guy 2 doors down where his bees sleep in our flowers, so we were able to open our stand up to get his honey out into the community. We've partnered with a local gal out of San Cooley for our sourdough, so it's really become a neighborhood event.
For her, that is the heart of the season.
I mean, our tagline is locally sourced, neighborhood driven, and I feel like we're holding true to that mission.
It's a chance to buy something local, meet the people behind it, and watch small ideas grow from one season to the next.
We truly love bringing beauty to the community, and you know, a bouquet of flowers can say a million words, or it can just bring a smile to someone's face.
Franklin Farms is located on Franklin Avenue, and the Great Falls Farmers Market opens June 6th around the Civic Center and runs Saturdays from 8:30 to 1. In Great Falls, Madison Collier, MTN News.
I'm John Matarese. We all want our protein, but pre-cut, boneless meats are getting expensive. So we found some ways to get your protein for less.
This is your spot. Your spot for community. Your spot for connections.
Hey, she's wearing my socks.
Your spot for neighbors and news. For flavors and views. Your spot for slams. For fans.
What a delightful surprise, and it's happening here.
This is your stomping ground. Your year-round stick around. This is your spot. The Spot MTN. This is your spot.
From MTN News, you're watching Daybreak.
Getting your daily recommended protein is essential, but not cheap. Shoppers are paying about 15% more for beef compared to last year. Scripps News Group consumer reporter John Matarese looks for ways to save on beef, chicken, and other meat products so you don't waste your money.
When it comes to protein, should you pay for convenience or shop for value? You know, pre-sliced, boneless meats are great, but they cost a lot more. So we found ways to get your protein for less. Nothing says summer like the smell of the grill, but the proteins aren't cheap. With many steaks, over $20 a pound.
They've got some really good sandwiches and prepared items.
So dietitian Kayla Pasquale shared some less pricey alternatives.
Things like chicken or pork, or even some of our fish like tuna, salmon are great options. Same protein comparison, but at that lower price point.
Pasquale says chicken is a great beef alternative and even cheaper if you avoid boneless, skinless breasts.
I know it can sound intimidating, but honestly, learning how to roast a whole chicken, you really get a lot of bang for your buck.
Too much effort? Try chicken thighs. And don't forget super cheap protein sources like beans and lentils for soups and salads.
Lentils are a great source of protein.
And she suggests yogurt for breakfast or lunch.
We've also got Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. Those are in the dairy group.
For an upcoming summer party or grill out, Kristen McGrath of the Crazy Coupon Lady says, let the sales decide which proteins you'll serve.
If chicken is on sale that week and you've got a barbecue coming up, well, you should plan your entire menu around chicken.
It's not just what you buy, it's when you buy. Her quick tips: make friends with your local butcher.
What else for you?
And ask about manager specials, meat that's discounted near its best buy date.
See which day of the week they mark this down so you can get in early in the morning and get first dibs.
Pasquale says you can toss those marked down steaks or chicken breasts right into the freezer.
Your freezer is your friend, so throw it in there.
That way you'll have affordable protein ready to grill all summer long and you don't waste your money. John Matarese, Scripps News Group.
Well, if you tuned in to Daybreak yesterday, you would have seen that I did show this graphic yesterday. This was the old drought monitor before our rain came through earlier this weekend. Over the weekend, we had pretty extreme drought throughout about 13% or 10% rather of the state. But as we advance it into the current drought monitor that released yesterday after our show, vast improvements across north central Montana. There is still a lot of work to be done here, but that is a good sign. That's the first time in a couple of months that we have seen improvement in that area. So we will have some more storms coming through, which will help improve the drought conditions. A cold front coming through Saturday and Sunday will bring isolated to scattered showers, even a little bit of mountain snow on Sunday. That system moves out. We're dry Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, We could see some pretty consistent rain across portions of the state. Should help the drought out in eastern Montana as well. So here's a look at the hourly forecast for today in Great Falls. Mostly sunny skies, high of about 79. A little breezy out there. West wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour in both Helena and Great Falls. We will be a little bit warmer in the capital city at about 82.
Good Friday to you. Coming up here on Today, Karen Reed is joining us exclusively. Her first live network interview since her acquittal nearly 1 year ago. We'll talk to her about that case and the stunning new allegations she's making against investigators in a new lawsuit this morning on Today.
From MTN News, you're watching Daybreak.
I'm John Riley here in Helena. Montana is expanding its partnership with the federal government. It's part of their shared commitment to forest stewardship. On Thursday, the U.S. Forest Service and the Gene Forte administration announced a third shared stewardship.
Another 345,000 acres where the Forest Service will delegate forest management responsibility to the state of Montana on the Lolo National Forest.
A year ago, the state and the Forest Service formalized a shared stewardship agreement with the goal to improve forest health and restoration. With the latest addition, they're now jointly managing over 745,000 acres. First official shared stewardship project is slated to begin this year, and it's on Blacktail Mountain in the Flathead National Forest.
And now it's time for one final look at weather with meteorologist Joey Biancone. Joey?
Thank you very much, Madeline. It's going to be a gorgeous day across the state today. Nothing to show you on the current radar. Temperatures will be warming up into the 80s today. It's going to be a really, really nice day. Going to want to get outside and enjoy it because coming up this weekend, things could change here a little bit. 79 for the high in Great Falls, upper 70s to low 80s through the rest of the state. Dry conditions. The next 7 days will bring the return of some wet weather. As you see, Sunday, 61 degrees. It's going to be a little cooler to end the weekend. A dry spell quickly on Monday, but we are looking at stormy weather return for the middle and end of next week, which could bring some widespread precipitation. And with that, it is time to say goodbye. As our station and company evolve to meet the changing needs of our audiences and communities, my time at KTVH is coming to a close. But my time with MTN and Montana is not ending. I've accepted an evening weather position at KPAX, our sister station in Missoula. I'll be filling in the Helena weather at times, so we all know Curtis likes to go skiing a lot, so you will see me again. I'm deeply grateful for my colleagues and all of you who have welcomed me into your homes over the years. Thank you so much. And for one final time, let's throw it on back to Madeline Heath.
Thank you, Joey, and thank you for all you've done for our community and always giving us a bright start to our day, rain or shine. Well, that does it for us here on Daybreak. We'll see you back here tonight at 5.
Is your kid interested in weather or being on TV? If so, enter them to be the next KTVH StormTracker Weather Rookie. Children in 2nd through 8th grade have a chance to visit our studio and record a weathercast. We'll share the rookie forecast Wednesday during the 5 p.m. news. It's a great chance to learn about our climate and have some fun. To find out more, visit ktvh.com/weatherrookie or scan the code on your screen with your phone and sign up today.
Sponsored by Ipaga Home Care of Helena.
At MTN News, we take you along for every journey. Listen to your concerns.
Right, they're our friends, they're our family.
The more we can listen and learn from our community members, the better.
And help you find solutions.
We had about 1,000 more calls this year.
We don't just cover your neighborhood. We live here.
You know, the community has given so much to us over the years.
So driven, so motivated.
Our journalists are dedicated to every part of Central Montana. Connect with KTVH weeknights at 6.